Welcome back to today's economic news. I'm your host, John, and today's topic is bound to raise some eyebrows and quite possibly your blood pressure. We're diving into the latest geopolitical storm brewing across the Pacific, the $11.1 billion US weapons package for Taiwan and China's stern reaction. Now, we've seen these kinds of arms deals before, a typical day in global politics, some might say, but this time, it's not just another drop in the ocean. It's a tidal wave with the potential to stir a great power conflict. So why should you care? Well, because every dollar spent on this deal comes out of your pocket. That's right. This isn't just about geopolitics. It's about what those hard-earned taxes are buying. And spoiler alert, it's not peace and prosperity. Let's kick off with some context to really understand what's at stake here. It takes us back to a chapter in history that's still very much alive, the Chinese Civil War, 1949. The Kuomintang retreated to Taiwan after being defeated by the Communist Party, which then set up the People's Republic of China. Since then, the US has thrown its weight behind Taiwan, essentially making a statement. Not so fast, Beijing. This culminated in the Taiwan Relations Act of 1979, a piece of legislation that outlines US-Taiwan relations, but with a catch. It acknowledges the One China policy, leaving Taiwan in a gray area, not fully recognized but not abandoned either. Fast forward to today, and what do we see? An increasingly assertive China under President Xi Jinping is not just knocking on Taiwan's door, they're practically banging it down. Military drills, bellicose rhetoric, and intimidating posturing are on the rise, making the Strait of Taiwan a potential powder keg. And now, with an $11.1 billion weapons package approved, we are essentially lighting the fuse. Let's look at the specifics of what's inside this costly package. First up, we've got 82 HIMARS launchers. To put that into terms we can all grasp, that's a high-mobility artillery rocket system. Think of it as those long-range fireworks we all know, but with the unpleasant twist of military might. Next in line are 420 ATACMS long-range missiles, each one a responsibility, an investment, and a gamble rolled into one. And don't forget about the 60 self-propelled howitzers rounding up the list. Now let's do some quick math. That's $11.1 billion on just one package. To translate that into something more tangible, it's as if every taxpayer is contributing their share towards armaments instead of addressing domestic needs like infrastructure or education. And yet, what do we really get? Perhaps just a louder bark in a geopolitical shouting match. The justification often flung at us is that these arms sales enhance Taiwan's self-defense capabilities. They promote stability in a volatile region, they say. But does it really? Or are we merely exacerbating tensions? Quoting the Chinese Foreign Ministry's Guo Jiakun, he sees this as squandering the hard-earned money of the people to purchase weapons at the cost of turning Taiwan into a powder keg. And you know what? If we are not careful, this could backfire spectacularly. Political leaders point to deterrence against aggression, but do they think we are blind to the fact that this often ends up provoking the very aggression they claim to deter? This brings us to a libertarian perspective on the matter. What's happening here is not just some global chess game. It's a hit on your wallet, an inflationary pressure cooker waiting to burst, and frankly, a loss of freedom for average citizens. Every billion shelled out on armaments could be an investment redirected. Yet our government seems addicted to spending on escalation. It's incompetence disguised as defense strategy. For every dollar that goes overseas in military aid, there's a consequence here at home. Be it less funding for public services or yet another unfunded government debt burden onto future generations. So, as we wrap up today's dig deep into these turbulent waters, let's remember the crux of this situation. We are pouring billions into a pot that potentially only stirs conflict rather than resolves it. There's a lesson here. When our resources prioritize defense contracts over peace and diplomacy, we are further from the ideal of liberty and closer to the binds of perpetual tension. If you share my frustration and want to demand more accountable leadership, hit that subscribe button. Let them know we're watching and we're not buying into the rhetoric without questioning the price tag. I'm John signing off. Until next time, let's stay informed and keep them honest.